Hello, my name is Lakin and welcome to my channel. So, in today's video, we are going not so far back in time, but it's definitely going to be a nostalgia trip. And that is, we're reading books written or set in the 2000s. If you've been following along in this year-long decades readathon that I've been doing, we're in the 2000s. After this, we only have the 2010s, and then we're up at 2020. And also, if you've been following me, you can look and see the last decade readathon that I posted was the 80s. Where's the 90s? No, I didn't forget about them. Last month, a lot of stuff was happening. And so last month, I decided I wasn't going to be filming. I was just going to take a little bit away from BookTube. But now I'm back. And instead of redoing the 90s with new books, we're just moving forward with the 2000s. So, sorry you missed it, but the books I read were Jurassic Park, Good Omens, and Perks of Being a Wallflower. So, I didn't read all the books I wanted to read for that week, but I read those three, and so I think I did good. But this week, we have a lot to read. So, we need to go ahead and get into this. I have a lot of audiobooks. I have 6 books, and 5 of them are audiobooks. And all the audiobooks are over 10 hours long. I calculated it yesterday, and I have 74 hours of audiobook to listen to if I want to read all the audiobooks. 74! That's a lot! And then I have 1 physical book on the Kindle that I need to read. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to be focusing on listening to audiobooks and doing crafts. So this week, that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on creating things for my Etsy shop and my new shop update for this month, while also listening to these hopefully amazing books. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just put the photos of the books that I'm trying to read this month instead of just going through them one by one. So here they are, all however many books there are. I think there's 6. Yeah, that's what I'm reading. And it's already Monday. So yesterday I was supposed to start, but I was still trying to finish up other books that I'm reading so that way I could get to these. Didn't really work, but I tried. And I ended up later in the day starting my first book for this week, and that was The Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. So I'm at least 4 hours into it. So, yeah. So far, so good. Yeah, I like the premise, and I like the conversation that it's having so far. I was a little worried because it is a early 2000s dystopian novel that it was gonna be kind of something that would be interesting to me, but interesting to me 5 years ago and not interesting now type of thing. But so far I'm enjoying it and I want to see where it goes. But yeah, I can't really say too much because it still feels like it's getting there. It still feels like it's setting up. So, I don't know. Okay. Let's quit procrastinating and go ahead and get started with this vlog.
Tally found that the gloves were soft and pliant, the palms worn pale from years of use. White lines across the finger joints revealed how they had fitted David's hands. They're wonderful. Come on, David said. It's not like they're magic or anything. No, but they've got something. History, Tally realized. In the city, she'd owned lots of things.
I did it. I finished Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, and I listened to it on 2.5 speed, so really fast. And I'd already listened to almost half of it. Well, 4 hours, so it wasn't that much, and so I didn't get a lot done in my craft. This is how much I got done. As you can see, it's nothing. I'm working on making a bat, and I wanted to try making it out of embroidery floss because I want them to be small, like keychainish size. And if I used my normal yarn, it wouldn't be that small. So we'll see. We'll see if it works, because I don't, like, this is all of the color I have left of this color. I may not have enough to actually crochet this whole thing. So maybe that means I'll get to go shopping for art supplies. Probably not. Probably not at all. So the book, I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it, and I definitely want to listen to the second one. Like, if the second one didn't have a hold on it, I would probably just go ahead and listen to it and be like, I know I'm supposed to be reading other books, but I want to listen to it. The premise of it and the whole, like, being ugly, or like normal looking is ugly, and evolution causes us to find this one face attractive, so everyone's gonna have this one face, and all this stuff, like, it's interesting. And like, they consider us, like, I always enjoy when in dystopian books, when they talk about us and how we're living as, like, and like talk about like us as their ancestors and stuff. And so they call us rusties because of how chaotic and just wasteful we were, which, I mean, it's still pretty true. But it's just interesting, like, how they talk about us versus like their society, when, like, clearly there are faults in our society. We're not perfect, but you can also just see the faults in their society, and yet they're like, oh, we're living in a utopia type of thing. I'm trying to figure out in my head what they would look like, because, like, even the most pretty, by the culture standards, isn't symmetrical. Like, our faces aren't symmetrical, but yet theirs are. And just like the big eyes and the small nose, and just trying to figure out what they would look like. I think this would have been interesting to be a movie. I don't know if it is. I'll look, and if it is, I'll watch it. But yeah, I think the only reason it's not like a 5-star is because the audiobook wasn't that interesting to listen to. Like, this is one of those where, like, you can either listen to the audiobook or read the physical book, and, like, the audiobook isn't gonna blow you away, or it's not adding a whole bunch to the story. It's just literally telling the story. And also, in the book itself, there's a lot of montage-y moments where, like, if this was a movie I was watching, I could easily tell that that would be a montage. And there were a lot of them, and it just felt weird. The spots where they would choose to speed through a whole bunch of days and just kind of gloss over things. I don't know, it felt like some of the parts that it, in my opinion, if some scenes had been swapped, where, like, some of the scenes where they played them out would have been montaged and others wouldn't have. If there had to be montage-y moments, I don't know. But it just seemed very, the pacing, I guess, that's what it would be considered, was, like, a little off, if that makes sense. I don't know. I still really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to figure out how it continues, because Seems like it's gonna get real good. But yeah, I finished that book, and now I'm gonna start, I'm gonna start The Time Traveler's Wife, because after I finish it, if I finish it today, I can see if we can watch the movie, because that movie's good. So, yeah. Time Traveler's Wife, here we come. Good morning. It is Tuesday, and today's gonna be a good day. So, started off getting dressed, actually putting on pants, and, excuse you, that already says that it's gonna be at least some sort of day. Hopefully good. Today is actually my anniversary, mine and my husband's, so that's exciting. I'm gonna do a few things in celebration of that. We can't really go anywhere because it's a global pandemic outside right now, but we got cake mix, so we can make a cake. But yeah, it's not gonna be a fancy cake, but it's gonna be cake, and so hopefully it's gonna be delicious. That's not really important for this vlog. What is important is my reading status and my craft status. So reading status is I've finished one book and I'm in the middle of a second book. So I'm about 2 hours into The Time Traveler's Wife. I didn't read a lot of it. I ended up editing some videos, and I also didn't get a lot of the craft done. It ended up, I ran out of embroidery floss for that little keychain, and I'm not going to buy any right now, so I just moved on to something else. I wanted to crochet, and that's nowhere near done either. But today I'm going to embroidery, so we're going to have some finished products today, I promise. Or at least fingers crossed I do. I finally charged my Kindle so I can actually start reading the physical book I have, which is Confessions of a Shopaholic. So I need to get onto that as well. I also need to film a video today. I think I'm going to be filming how I read more books, because I used to, before starting this channel, and like whenever I was first getting back into reading, I was reading like a book a week. So like 4 books a month, which, hey, that's a lot of books. But now there's like 20 books on my TBR right now, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to read them all. So going from 4 to 20, you gotta be doing something. So I think I'm going to film that today. I'm excited for everything that this day has in store for us. So I'm going to go ahead and quit talking so that way we can go ahead and get into it. I will say this Time Traveler's Wife book, it's good so far. I haven't watched the movie in a long time, so like I don't really remember it. I just remember like a few scenes. But I'm enjoying the book, but it seems a little like, I don't know, a little weird, because he's coming back from a time whenever he's married to Claire, but he's coming to a time when she's like 12, 13, and he's still thinking about her as his wife, but it's like a 13-year-old kid and not his appropriately aged wife. I don't know. Like, it's hard to explain, because like it's weird because he's time traveling, but like in actual time, I think it said like they're like 6 years apart, which isn't that bad. And especially once they're like 2 grown adults, it's not bad at all. But it's just these scenes whenever she's really young and he's in his 30s. It's like, ooh, this is uncomfy. I don't appreciate this. Let's go ahead and get to doing some art, because that's the important thing of this week. Well, the reading is the important thing for this week, but the art is what I'm doing while reading. Yeah. Okay, let's just go ahead and go.
Okay, so I'm determined to cook. I don't cook. Out of Walter and I am not the cook. Even sometimes when I follow the directions, it turns out really gross. But I'm gonna try, so that way he doesn't have to, you know? He does it every day. So this is, since I can't get him a gift, this will be the gift. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the cake so it will already be cool. And then that way I'm not making a cake and the pot pie at the same time. I feel like that's a smart move. Voila! Now all we gotta do is cook it. I kind of messed that up with those 4 ingredients, you know. Fingers crossed. Update on the cooking. We haven't tried the cake, but it looks good. We've tried the lavender cookies. They taste like very lavendery. But the pot pie didn't turn out as planned. So, yeah. It tastes fine. It's just missing some taste. I don't know. I didn't do it right. I'm not really surprised. But Walter came home with some pizza. I didn't tell him to bring pizza. I didn't tell him to bring anything because the pot pie's edible. It just wouldn't have been the most scrumptious meal. So it's good that we can buy, like, it's good that we can also have some pizza. I will say that I'm not done with The Time Traveler's Wife yet. I'm almost there. I think I have like 4 or 5 hours left. I'm liking it. I don't think it's gonna be a 5 or even a 4-star book. Right now it's sitting at 3, which it's not bad. It's just not incredible, you know? But while I'm listening to that, I have started a new embroidery. As you can see, it is a skull. So with some moths. So I'm going to be outlining it in black and then filling it in with color. Yeah, I'm excited. This is a design. This is from a design that I made a year or 2 ago. I made just like a piece of art with like this big skull and these 2 moths as a focal point. So I just kind of shrunk it down into the size that I wanted to embroidery and just used the outline. And yeah, hopefully it turns out as awesome as the original one was. But I also finished those pins. They're embroidery chemical pins. So on one of them is the chemical formula for serotonin, which is something I'm lacking, and now I can have it with me. But serotonin is for happiness, and the other one is caffeine, which I always need that as well for energy. But yeah, I made those into pins. I wanted to make some others that were oxytocin, which isn't technically love, but it's a chemical that ignites whenever there's like strong bonds and stuff. So a lot of people equate it to love and stuff like that. So I was going to do that, but I ran out of the embroidery floss for the background, which I could do a different one, but I kind of want them all to be the same as I make more of them, to just kind of them all have the same blue background with a colorful chemical formula in it. But yeah, those will be going up in my Etsy shop, and this skull, when I get done with it, that'll be going up as well. So yeah.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, and yeah, nothing else really to say except for it's a new day and we're back. And I wanted to show you what I was crocheting last night, and I started working on this after the embroidery crocheting didn't work out. So I started this, but now it's starting to actually take shape. So if I show you what it is, it's not just like a blob, but it's a little flower. Yeah, he's gonna have eyes and he's gonna have a body. But right now I'm working on the petals. And I'm using this, I'm using the yarn that I have. So the green is a little bit brighter than I would want it to be. And I would love to have like each petal be a different color, but I don't really have a ton of different colored petals or different colors that would go together. So I'm just using this ombre yarn and we're making it work. And I think he's gonna look real cute. I listened to so much of that book yesterday and I'm not even done. So I think I'm just gonna like, you know, have an hour where I can just watch some YouTube and not listen to a book. Because even though I enjoy listening to audiobooks, it can become a lot. Because it's just constantly listening and constantly having to be focused on two different things. It's a little draining at times. But I'm still listening to The Time Traveler's Wife. I'll finish it today, no worries, and then I'll start another book. I still haven't started Confessions of a Shopaholic, which is just gonna kick me in the butt later because I have so much to read of it, but that's future Lakin's problem. But yeah, so just wanted to pop in, give a little update, and just show off this guy. I have 2 hours left of the book and kind of want to DNF it. Yeah, like I just kind of don't care anymore. It's so long. Oh my goodness. Like it seems like we're literally living day to day with these people. And it's just, I don't care anymore. Such a long book. I've listened to 15 hours already. And like, it was really good at the beginning. I really liked it. And like, as it was going, I saw it progressing and I liked it. But like, for the past like 3 hours, I've just been like, okay. Can we just move this along? And kind of wondering if it's too late to DNF it. Like, should I just finish the 2 hours? Or do I just go ahead and get rid of it? I don't know. But I'm working on this still. I've finished the head. So it looks like that. It's really bright. There we go. Way back here. And I'm working on the body. I don't have the pattern that I'm following uses wire to keep the head from like just flopping around like this, but I think I don't have wire, so I think I'm just gonna have to hot glue it. But yeah, so we're getting there. I'll probably start another book and figure out if I want to DNF this or not. I don't know. I think I want to start
either The Magicians or Life of Pi. Yeah. I'll figure it out. Good afternoon. It is Thursday and it's like 3 o'clock. I'm just now updating, but last night I started Life of Pi by Yann Martel and I just finished it. It was really good. I'm glad I stopped listening to The Time Traveler's Wife, and I think, after thinking about it, yeah, I'm just gonna DNF it. It doesn't matter that it's 2 hours left, like, I don't want to finish it, so I'm not going to. And while I've been doing that, I've been embroidering. I've finished the outline, and now I'm working on the butterflies. Well, they're actually moths, but you know. So, I'm working on them, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to fill this whole thing with color or just the moths. I don't know yet. The book, Life of Pi. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. Yeah. It was really good, and I liked the ending. And the story the whole time, even though it's just him in a boat with a tiger the whole time, it's still interesting. And it's not, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like I was captivated the whole time. And I wanted to know what was happening, and I wanted to see how they were going to get out of this situation and what was going to happen to Richard Parker, the tiger. I just think it's funny that the tiger's name was Richard Parker. Sometimes when the story was going, like, I wasn't for sure if it was actually happening. Like, was it just him being like sick and dehydrated that he was thinking this was happening, or was it actually happening? And I think that's what makes the story like so intriguing, is you don't know if it's 100% real. Sometimes I would find it annoying if the story kind of has this open ending, but I think it works well for this one because there's no way of knowing, because no one else was out there. And it was just, I don't know. Yeah, 5 stars. I recommend it. It was like 10 hours of an audiobook, so it wasn't that long of an audiobook, and it wasn't boring, unlike The Time Traveler's Wife. So the books I have left are Confessions of a Shopaholic, The Magicians, and The Da Vinci Code. So the next audiobook that I am going to be listening to is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Maybe I should start Confessions of a Shopaholic. Just maybe, because after this I only have 2 more days. I'll check back in with you when I actually have something interesting to say. Good morning. It is Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Yes. So last night I finished the skull and moth embroidery. I decided to just color in the moths and not everything because they just stand out so nice, and I didn't want them to get lost. And I don't know. I liked it. Liked it how it was, and I didn't want to risk messing it up. And while I was doing that, I started listening to The Magicians, and I'm about halfway through it. And I've watched the show, The Magicians. I haven't watched it all the way through. I don't know what season I'm on, but I've watched a good chunk of it. I know that. Basically the whole time, they're at school, pretty much. But in this book, they're already at year 5, which maybe they fly through it in the show, but you can't really tell because they're still in the same setting. But yeah, they fly through it, and they're on their final year at Brakebills. I think that's the name of the school. So I don't know where else the rest of the series is gonna go, or if they're just gonna stay in year 5 and we just zoomed through all the other years. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it a lot. This is making me just want to rewatch the show and like get back into it, but I'm gonna at least finish this first book before I continue with the series. Also, the quote on the front of the audiobook, it's from George R.R. Martin, and it says that The Magicians is to Harry Potter as a shot of whiskey is to a glass of weak tea. Which, I've never read Harry Potter. I don't want to read Harry Potter, but like that's a funny quote, and maybe it's accurate, maybe it's not, but it's still really funny. But today, my goal for my creative endeavor is to finally sew this skirt. I started placing out the pieces to like cut them out to get ready to sew, but then I realized I wanted to wait till I had all the things I needed, like the zipper, the buttons, and the interfacing and stuff like that. So I've had that stuff for a while, but I keep putting it off because I'm scared I'm gonna mess it up. Because I've sewn some things and I'm pretty amateur at the sewing machine, but this is gonna be like my first outfit because I would love to start like actually sewing my own clothes. So this is a beginning.
That's quite a story. I'd assumed your father was a mathematician because of your name.
No, far from it. I was named after a swimming pool.
There's a swimming pool named Pi.
Good afternoon. It is now Monday. I know that doesn't make sense, but it is Monday. So the readathon is over. So this whole weekend I basically stayed in bed. And so I didn't film anything. Didn't really read much, but I did start Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. I'm like 25% of the way through it. I'm not that far into it, but I'm glad I've picked it up because it's really funny and I like the writing of it. It's very much we're in her head and she gets distracted and we're seeing her justify buying all these things and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying it and I'm glad that I picked it up, which I wouldn't have picked it up if I was still like going instead of just like laying in bed. So I guess there's a plus. I can't remember what the last thing I updated you on. I don't think I told y'all that I finished Magicians by Lev Grossman, and I think I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed it. It was fun, and I can definitely see like where the TV show got its ideas from, but I like the TV show better. Yeah. By the time I was halfway through the book, he was already in year 5 of school. When he had started, when like the book started, he wasn't even in the school yet. So it rushed through all that to where he's automatically this great magician and stuff like that. And also, like, the villain of the story, the Beast, we meet him in, like, within the first 2-3 hours of listening to the audiobook, and then he doesn't show up again till, like, hour 13-14. Like, he shows up once, does something that freaks everyone out, and then doesn't show up again. No mention of him again until basically the very end of the book. It all just seemed like rushed, even though it was so long of a book. Like 17 hours, you think like I would feel like really engrossed in the story and really connected to the characters, but like I don't. The only reason I like care about the characters at all is because of the movie, or is because of the TV show. I think I may continue the series because it's a trilogy, so like it's not like tons of books. And I think I may continue it just to see like where this series goes. But I do appreciate that the show has followed along. It's just, it's added more drama, it's added more things, it's kept it more condensed within the school years and stuff like that. And with that, I read a total of 3 books. I'm still reading one, and I DNF'd another, so 5 books. I didn't even get to the Da Vinci Code. I went ahead and returned that to the library. Yeah, that was one of the books I picked up because, oh, everyone talks about it, but I had no interest in reading it, and I could tell, because by the time, like, on Saturday and Sunday, I was like, well, since I'm laying here, like, I could listen to the audiobook, but I had no interest. So I ended up starting a different audiobook. I gave The Magicians 3 stars, I gave Uglies 4 stars, I think, and I gave Life of Pi 5 stars. And then I DNF'd The Time Traveler's Wife, and I haven't read enough of Confessions of a Shopaholic to even think about what my star rating might be, but I think that's a good reading week. I'm impressed with myself. I didn't get as many crafts done as I would have liked, but I got enough done that I'm appreciative of where they are. Most of them are like started and not finished because that's just how I work. But yeah, I figured I would update you on my reading. I don't know how well of a reading vlog this is because I couldn't really film a whole bunch because I was listening to the books on my phone. So yeah. But I do remember telling you that I was gonna sew a skirt, and then I lost the directions, so I wasn't even gonna attempt to sew it on my own because like if I don't follow the directions on like a recipe for cooking, it turns out awful, and I didn't want that to happen with my first like major sewing project. But I found the directions. I had only had the directions for the top, but I found the directions for the skirt. So that's what I've been doing. Look, I sewed a zipper. That's exciting. So yeah, I guess that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. The next one for the 2010s will be next month. So stick around for that if you're interested. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more like it, or maybe even better, we'll see. Definitely hit the subscribe button. It makes my day. Thank you again for watching. I hope you are having a great morning or evening whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!